Hello YouTube, Wolfman here, ready to hit you with some movie reviews. We're a little late this time, but we're still doing good. We're getting into a good rhythm. So first on the list, Sonic the Hedgehog. This one took the internet by storm, didn't it? Oh my god. Oh, from the first moment when we retconned and just not retconned, when we recreated the character, when we rebuilt him, when we made him better. The whole everybody just went nuts for this movie, and well worth it because the movie was worlds of fun. I enjoyed it wholeheartedly, but there are a couple of things to talk about. Sonic was great. Let me be the first. Just start off with that. Sonic was fantastic. I grew up watching Sonic Sat AM. That's like my first real love of Sonic in media for outside of the video games, of course. But as far as like a televised or a movie-based Sonic goes, Sonic Sat AM is my original. And Jaleel White, that's right, Urkel will always be my Sonic. Urkel is my Sonic. Sonic Sat AM forever. Blue streak speeds by, Sonic the Hedgehog. It was awesome. It was one of the best theme songs ever. They didn't reference it once, but for all you modern kids that grew up on Sonic X, you got your "Gotta Go Fast" line. Good for you. Where are my throwbacks? Where are my throwback lines? Where's my where's the people that got love for Sat AM? They didn't throw anything of that in there. I digress. So, but that old Sonic, the Sonic Sat AM Sonic, maybe I remember it differently from my nostalgia. There's a difference between having a cocky, don't care attitude and being ADD. Maybe I'm the only one that got watching this Sonic. I got the feeling that he had like ADHD or ADD or something. It felt more like he was just hyper and couldn't. It was more so that it was less that he wanted to move around and be fast, and more that he couldn't stay still. And there's a difference, and there's a whole attitude difference that comes with it. And every incarnation of Sonic that I've ever watched in cartoon form or anything else, that was never the attitude that I got from him. It was never a jittery, I gotta go, I can't sit still, I gotta do something, my brain's always going to it was never that. Sonic was always too cool. That was the deal. That was Sonic. So that was the thing about this character that I was kind of like, yeah, but we can easily look past. Because the voice actor did bring a lot of character and personality to Sonic, I thought. So that was very nice. They made up a whole character for this one. I don't know. Again, I look back at Sonic and I'm like, where's Princess Sally? Where's Schroeder? Where's Antoine? Where's Bunny Rabbit? Those were the characters that I remember. The original Freedom Fighters. They were the ones that I loved. And, everybody's like, yeah, where's Knuckles? Where's Amy? And, yeah, okay, cool. And I think there are comics that merge both universes. It's not saying that it can't be done, so bring back my old characters! Come on, they were great. They had a lot of personality in the old cartoon. Who was it, James Marsden in this movie? This man is like the king of the road trip story. He's got so many movies where he's just doing that. And that's the big thing with him. With Sonic, and we were in Sonic's world, his home planet. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with saying that he's an alien. They refer to him as an alien in the trailers or in the movie. I guess it's not wrong, but that just felt weird. I don't know. Interdimensional beings sounds better than aliens, but I guess they're not really different. I don't know. It's just weird to think of Sonic as an alien. I digress. That's a minor detail. When we were in Sonic's home world and everything having to do with Sonic on his own, that was fantastic. I loved every bit of it. Everything having to do with James Marsden and just the road trip aspect, and it's like it didn't need to be Sonic. There was nothing outside of Sonic himself. There was nothing overtly Sonic about this movie necessarily. It's just that you could have swapped out any other kind of character and done the same road trip with a different goal in mind. Instead of, you know, the rings to transport, it's, you know, you could have swapped out just about anything, and there's nothing that made this feel specifically special to Sonic, grander plot wise. I think you get what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm necessarily translating it well, but if I think you understand where I'm going with this, and that's a kind of a big issue. So that you kind of can't ignore that. That's significant. But we got some great Easter eggs thrown in. If you stayed through part of the credits, then you know that there was a big deal with that, and everybody looked good. Everybody sounded good. So Sonic was a lot of fun. And looking back on it, I still get a smile thinking about going to see Sonic, so I can't rate it low. So Sonic gets a solid 9 out of 10 from me. Definitely. It's not undeserved. Sonic was a lot of fun. I'm not saying anything I don't think anybody else has said. So I loved Sonic, so Sonic gets a 9 out of 10. Next on my list, we went to see Fantasy Island. This was an interesting one. I never really watched the original show, and for those of you that didn't know, yes, there was a show this was based off of, and it was not necessarily a dark show. It was not a horror show. Sometimes it could get serious, maybe a little dark for certain themed episodes when they wanted to like teach somebody a lesson, but it was not inherently a dark show. It was a fantasy show. It was Fantasy Island. Ricardo Montalban, Khan! He hosted the island with his little person sidekick, and it was a lot of fun. I've seen episodes here and there, so I know what the show is like, and that's why I was so fascinated by the idea of them making it into a horror story, and I really enjoyed it. Looking back on it and looking back at the story and certain plot points, maybe it was a little bit more obvious than I picked up on initially, but it wasn't bad. I was engaging the whole way through. I felt engrossed in the story. So again, you know, maybe you picked up on who the bad guy was early on. Maybe not. I didn't really necessarily pick it up early on. I thought there was going to be another twist thrown in somewhere, so I didn't pick up on it right away. But in hindsight, it was fairly obvious, I guess. But I love what they did with distorting time and location and the magical, mystical elements of the island itself and characters and how they related to each other and Easter eggs. So I really enjoyed it. I know I've seen some friends post online and make comments about it saying that they didn't care for it as much. I really enjoyed it. I actually thought Fantasy Island was a lot of fun. All the actors were good in it. They kind of played off of the dude bro trope with two of the characters, and because they were, rather than making them dude bros, they were bro dudes. They were actually family, and it was actually a decent play on trope, I thought. It was a lot of fun. I feel like a missed opportunity. I don't know if they talked to Ricardo Montalban and he rejected it, or if they even tried, but just something of an Easter egg with him, I think, would have been a lot of fun and meant a lot to people that actually knew the show going into this. The other thing, and I can say this I'm saying this outside of the review more so, and more just a testament to the theater that we go to. We go to a movie theater local to us in Pottstown, and the manager of that theater, kudos to her and to the theater staff. We still managed to enjoy this movie, though early on there was a group of rowdy teenagers that were just making a terrible mess of everyone's good time. And they were fantastic at handling it and getting everybody back in, and we even got to restart the movie because we were like the last show that night, so that was a very nice touch on their part. We were very thankful to them. So kudos to the theater staff there, and just helping to make this a good experience. Back to back to Fantasy Island. It's a PG-13 movie, and it feels it, and it's good. It's good as a PG-13. You could see where maybe making it an R could have made it scarier, but then you could also see where there's a lot of places that it would just become like just too much. I don't know if blasé is the right word, but just like there's a whole party scene that happens for the bro dude bro characters, and you know that if this was an R-rated movie, there'd be a lot more nudity and sex just because R rating allows for it, and it's like that seems unnecessary. It was perfectly fine the way it was. You got the idea of the story. If it was R-rated again, there'd probably be a lot more jump scares and just gross out, scary imagery, and less good horror story. The overall story elements were strong enough and presented themselves well in a PG-13 way. So this was a good PG-13 movie. So Fantasy Island, where do I rate it? A solid 8 out of 10 for Fantasy Island. And the only reason why it's not higher is because, like I said, in looking back on it in hindsight, there were certain things that maybe I could have picked up on better. That's not the movie's fault, though. I don't know, it's just... There were certain things that could have maybe been stronger, certain things I would have liked out of it more, but it was still a very fun and enjoyable watch. So, yeah, 8 out of 10, I'm sticking with that. That's a good solid number. 8 out of 10 for Fantasy Island. So those are the movie reviews. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about them in the comments below if you saw either of them. I'm sure you've seen Sonic. God, I know. We've got a very good, solid set of you that watch our reviews, and I know most of you, if not all of you, have seen Sonic. So comment down below what you thought about Sonic, what you thought about what I said about it. If you saw Fantasy Island, tell me what you thought of it down there, or if you were curious about Fantasy Island. Let's get some of these movie discussions going. Let's get them flowing in the comments section. And, yeah, we got a shining beacon back here. Whoop. Oh, protect the bulb. Bye. Take care.